I think the main problems that Bitcoin solves is that when you can create money out of thin air, there's just too much temptation for governments to not do that. They're eventually going to do it. And usually they do it for bad things, meaning they're going to go have more wars, and they're going to use it in ways that takes money from everyday people and centers it more in the hands of the very well connected, the rich. And I think Bitcoin solves for that. I think Bitcoin really helps solve the war problem, especially the ongoing wars that the U.S. has been in over the last few decades, of where, being in Afghanistan for forever, and Iraq and those kinds of things. There's no appetite from the public to be going off and bombing these other countries and being involved with our military. And if you can't fund it, then it really restricts it. And that's what I think Bitcoin solves for. So that's number one. I think number two is that it really solves for helping people think long term versus short term. So people will be much more likely to invest in things that bring long-term capital gains, meaning if you're wanting to hold on to your money, if you're wanting to spend all your money all the time because your dollar is becoming less and less valuable, then that makes it so you don't make as good of long-term decisions, as opposed to if your money is more stable, then you can invest more in the future because you don't have to worry about it losing its value. And I think that is very helpful for, things like the arts. It's very helpful for the infrastructure that we build in our communities. And I also think I think Bitcoin really helps solve for the problem of there's been too much in history of people trying to live off of the labor of other people, right?
Yeah.
Before, it happened with slavery, right? Slavery was one of the biggest examples of that. And now that happens more in the transfer of wealth from poor people to very rich people, right? In the way that the money is manipulated. And I think Bitcoin really helps solve for that, so that ultimately, especially in a show that teaches about freedom, one of the biggest freedoms you have is the way that you spend your time, right? Not just the choices you make,
Absolutely.
but the choices you make with your time. And that no one else has the right to your time but you, right? Your time is your own, and how you decide to use it. It's one of the biggest things in this life of how we choose to use your time. And hopefully, I'm a Christian, so I want to hopefully use my time in a way that is going to benefit those around me, that I'm going to hopefully bless other people's lives. I'm going to serve others, and I'm not just going to do it all for me, but obviously I want to take care of my family, but I want to take care of those in my community and voluntarily use my time that way, but that no one else gets to force my time in that way. And I think that's what Bitcoin helps, is it helps keep people's choices of how they use their time more within their own decision power, because it helps center the money where the real value is coming from, as opposed to people that can kind of be parasites on other people's time. And that's what we don't want, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.